Today, we're going to talk about information fatigue when it comes to self-help. It's a real thing. I remember 25 years ago seeking this kind of information. I remember going to places in the high Himalayas to find masters, to download wisdom, and to understand some of this scripture, understand some of these teachings. You had to climb the mountain. Now, the internet is bombarding us with a lot of information, some of which are, say, the classics, and a lot of which is just kind of this newly packaged self-help, feel-good, meme stuff that is sometimes useful, sometimes relevant, and I think a lot of times a distraction. And I want to be clear about this. I'm not a Luddite. I love the internet. We're on video right now using technology as we speak. But I think what has happened is there is a glut of information that's shown up in the last 5 years, since the pandemic especially, from a number of sources. A lot of people just go to AI bots and pick up things that sound good and regurgitate them on camera. A lot of those people have never sat in an ashram. A lot of those people have never gone past a white belt in martial arts. A lot of those people haven't done the work, yet they are proliferating memes that are supposed to be designed to help you feel good, but they're doing so because we as a society have demonstrated this insatiable appetite for self-help spiritual information. Therefore, the marketers and the people out there trying to make a living doing this will continue to pump that and flood the market with that. But to what avail? What is the cost of having too much spiritual or personal development information at your fingertips? And what does that do to your conscious awareness of what the next logical move needs to be for you? And that becomes a really important point that I want to stay on for a minute, because less is more. And the challenge that we face in our society is more is more and more is better. And that's not necessarily what any of this was about. The evolution of the spiritual human was much more a reduction process. So the essence of these spiritual teachings has always been the opposite of what we're seeing right now that is overwhelming this market of spiritual nonsense, which is shut up, sit down, say less, less books, more time pulling inward, observing the nature of your mind. The essential essence of who you are is more simple than more complicated. Less information, more silence. Less noise, less noise. And so as we sit here in this market of self-help gurudom, you're going to feel this sense of overwhelm as there's so much coming at you. I hear this all the time from my students in the Urban Monk Academy is, oh my God, there's all these podcasts I got to listen to and I got to keep up. And then so-and-so wrote another book and so-and-so has, I got to follow these 27 people because this other influencer said this is who they follow. And none of that is necessarily what you need. None of that is necessarily good for you. None of that is going to make you any happier if the information overload is doing the exact opposite of what you said you want, which is simplicity, silence, peace, and happiness. So, what is the answer to that? Cut the cord? No, not necessarily. Never read another book? I don't think so. I love books. But having an operating system, having an orientation around me first. What do I need? How do I check in with myself? Do I feel overwhelmed? Am I listening to some book on tape right now and finding myself emotional, frustrated, upset, overwhelmed by more information coming in because I'm also busy thinking about what mom said on that last call, what my daughter's going to do with her career, what my lunch is supposed to be like, right? The mind is already working, and the mind is trying to digest the events of the day. The mind is trying to digest the emotions of last night and this morning. And if we don't give ourselves that time to ruminate, digest, process, think, let things settle, and we're just bombarding ourselves with more information because somebody said that I should listen to another personal development thing, it feels like you're choking. It feels like the cup is overflowing and you're not getting any of it. If you can relate to that, you're not alone. So the answer is stopping time. The answer is to say, okay, what am I doing right now? How do I feel? And what do I need in this moment in response to how I feel? Do I need more information, or do I need to take a few breaths? Do I need to go stretch and lie down? Do I need to walk out in the sun? Do I need to just sit here and think about my day a little bit more? Do I need to process this trauma? Right? That answer is going to change, but the answer isn't going to come from the audible. The answer isn't coming from that next podcast. It's coming from inside of you, and you cueing in to really tease out that answer. And that answer changes moment by moment. That answer changes as your day is flowing into different states of up and down and make hay and rest. I'm hungry. Okay, now I ate. Now I need some time to digest this food. We understand that with food, kind of. But do we understand that with emotions? Do we understand that with trauma? Do we understand that with the flux of our energy as it waxes and wanes every day? So come back to yourself is what I'm getting at here. Come back and check in with yourself. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't overwhelm your overwhelm with more information. Take 10 breaths, settle down. The book will be there. The podcasts will keep coming. The world will not stop throwing information at you. I put it to you that maybe, just maybe, more information isn't what you need.